And let's go ahead and take a look at one more example. This time we're going to be asked to factor 2x squared plus 9x plus 10. And this one's a little bit more challenging because we have a number in front of the x squared term that's not equal to 1, right? So obviously there's a couple different approaches here. You can try and factor this one using trial and error, or you can use what's called the AC method. Which is the method that we're going to be taking a look at. Notice that our trinomial here is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, and it's called the AC method because we're working with the first and the last terms there. We're going to be using the a and the c values to help us factor this one. So let's go ahead and multiply our a and c values. Right? 2 times 10 is going to give us 20. And we're going to do the same type of thing we did in our last examples. We're going to go ahead and factor the 20. So the things that multiply together to give us 20 would be 1 times 20, 2 times 10, or 4 times 5. And we want to pick the pair that's going to add up to give us that middle term, which in this case is a 9. So we're going to pick the 4 and the 5. And all we're going to do is rewrite our original problem. So this will be 2x squared, and we're going to be rewriting this 9x using that 4 and 5. Right, so we have a positive 4x and a positive 5x, which is what gave us that positive 9x. And then we have our plus 10 at the end. So notice I really didn't change the problem any. All we did is break apart that middle term. Now, when you go to write them, people always ask, is there an order that I should be looking for with regard to those terms after I break it apart? Yes. You want to make sure that your first two terms here have something in common that you can factor out, and the same thing with the third and fourth term that you're looking at there. That's why I went ahead and put my 4x first, right? Because 2 and 4 have a number in common that I can use to factor out. Same thing with the 5 and 10. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and factor this by grouping. So I'm going to group my first two terms together and my last two terms together. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at each of these terms and factor out what they have in common. Right, so 2x squared and 4x, I can take a 2x out of each of those. And that's going to leave me with an x for my first term and a positive 2. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side here, looking at the 5x and the 10. I'm going to go ahead and take out whatever they have in common. In this case, it's going to be a positive 5. And inside my parentheses will be whatever I have left over after I factor that 5 out. So in this case, an x and a positive 2. And now what should happen is that you end up with this set of parentheses that matches. Right, so we're going to go ahead and factor out the set that matches, which is the x plus 2. And then in my other set of parentheses, I should have the stuff that's left over. So I'll go ahead and highlight these. I have my 2x and I have my positive 5. So that's going to go in my second set of parentheses. Okay, so this was the set that matched, and this was the set that was left over. Right, and so this would be our solution for this trinomial factor. Go ahead and try this one on your own. This time you're being asked to factor 6x squared plus 5x plus 1.